What is up, crypto world, crypto universe? This is yours truly, a King Risen. Some of you guys might know me by Yusuf. Yusuf. Now here's the waterfalls in the background. I'm enjoying a relaxing day by the pool. The weather isn't all that great, but still a pretty relaxing day. So I wanted to show Bitcoin, the chart. If you guys been following me, my Telegram channel, then you guys are kind of up on game already. Some of you guys are in profits in Bitcoin, which is always great. We play Bitcoin to the upside and the downside. So what this video is about is what the heck is going on with Bitcoin? That's what this video is about. Are we going to see new lows and lower lows and lows of the lows, or are we going to see some recovery and price hikes and moonshots? So let's break this thing down. Bitcoin, I'm on Bitfinex. This is the daily chart, BtcUsd, and I'm sorry, not daily, weekly chart. I apologize. We're on the weekly chart, BtcUsd on Bitfinex. So let's take a look at this thing. Let's break this thing down to see where our probabilities are and, if we can make sense of this, right? So let me expand this just a little bit so I have my tools in front of me. So with Bitcoin, I know you guys probably seen this pattern quite a bit. Maybe perhaps you've seen other charts plotted. So by now, it's a very obvious descending triangle that we're in on Bitcoin. So descending triangle is something like this, where we're making, oh, look at that. I already have some plots on there. Let me delete that so we have it fresh. So what we have is we're forming lower highs, 0.1, 0.2. Matter of fact, let me highlight this for you guys. So here's a high, lower, lower. And you see we keep getting lower highs, lower, 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 lower. So as price progresses, we keep getting lower highs. However, we're getting relatively the same lower level lows, with the exception of this low right here, but it's pretty much the same region. Right in that 6K, 6200 pocket is where we're finding our same level lows. As you can see on Bitcoin, we're right back at that lower level. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we're done seeing lower prices? Does that mean we're going to see super lower prices? Does that mean we've seen so many lows in concession, it's time to turn this thing around? Let's take a look at this. What could it possibly mean? Well, let's break this down as price. A plane would just fly over and be super loud, right? So let's take a look at price. And this is our base of price right here, right at that 6K range. Right at that 6K range. And then we have this slope on price right here, where we start forming lower highs, right? So what does that mean? That means every time price comes down to the $6,000, it attempts to make another high and gets weaker every time. So this is a unequivocal sign of weakness. Every time we come back to 6K, we push up, we try, we get tired, push up, we get weaker and weaker and weaker. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we're suddenly going to find strength, or does that mean we're going to find a lot more weakness and fall through? Well, let's look at descending triangles. Let's see what they mean. So historically, we pull up a descending triangle. What we see here is historically, this looks a lot like Bitcoin. We pumped up, came down, and then we came through the bottom. And with a descending triangle, from the base to the top of the triangle is typically where you're going to find the measured move from the base to the bottom of the move. So it's a high probability bearish pattern. So if you're willing to accept that this indeed is a descending triangle, then you would know that your bias in Bitcoin would be bearish. So as traders, what we try to do is just find high probability patterns, high probability setups. It's just that simple, plain and clear. So if I know this is my pattern and I'm taking it from this high, we have about a 50% or so discount on Bitcoin on the way. So that's why a lot of seasoned traders, they're getting to 4K and 3K range. mainly because of this pattern. They see a huge breakout forming. So, all right, maybe this is, but let's try to bring some confluences together. So one thing we could do is take out our handy Fibonacci tool, go from the highs to the lows. And as you can see, what we're doing in Bitcoin, we're trading right below this 0.786 level. Now, the 0.786 and the 0.236 levels are levels to watch. Whenever you get a break above this 0.236, that means that price can go bullish. It's a strong trend reversal sign. When you get price below the 0.786, then that's a sign of bearish. That means a strong bearish sign. So over here, we had a little bit of price, and in Bitcoin, that price was 63.50. So we had some price breakdown from that range before. And as you can see, ever since we crossed the 63.50, we never actually made it above the previous highs. We had a nice little pump over here. That's when there was some sentiment on the ETFs. Bitcoin got a little bit of a pump, extra juice from that. A lot of people thought that Bitcoin may have turned around and actually may have made a new high. Obviously, it didn't, and we came back down. So another thing to keep on to pay attention to is that with all these buying, guys, by week 1, 2, 3, and 4, it took us 4 weeks to get from 63.50 to 8,500, and only 2 weeks to get us from 8,500 down to 63.50. It took us 3 weeks to get us from, let's just say, 63.50 up to 7,500, and only 1 week to get us from 7,500 back down to 6,300. So just applying some basic common sense, if you will. You can see that in the last month, 2 months, 2.5 months, there has been some clear signs of Bitcoin getting weaker, some clear signs that the bears are in control of this move. And the only way that Bitcoin has an out of this, in my view, is if by some miracle, and at this point, guys, I would have to say it would be a miracle for Bitcoin to break above 7,200. That's the only way that could happen, in my view, for Bitcoin to even go neutral, is to break above 7,200. Anything below 7,200 is bears, and they're eating really well. So I could see a pullback into this pocket right here, possibly, but even that is a stretch to get us back to 6,800. I'm actually in some shorts. I intend on holding my shorts and layering in 2 more short positions if indeed we do get a pullback, and taking Bitcoin down to the 5,800 range, then eventually down to the $4,000 range. And I do see a real possibility for Bitcoin to come down to even as low as the 1,300 to 2K range. I do see that as a possibility, that those lower end targets are not off the table for me. So for those that pay attention to the TD sequential indicator, I think that's really interesting. You guys can see we have a fresh bearish weekly one. It closed bearish on the weekly one, and we're opening on a bearish weekly 2. So again, guys, I don't have a lot of hope or a lot of enthusiasm that we're going to even get back to 6,800. I think even getting back to 6,800 is a tall task for Bitcoin at this point, and a direct drop down to 5,800 and below is extremely probable to me at this point, seeing how we had such a bearish, convincing, strong close on BTC. So that's my Bitcoin analysis. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe. Let me get a thumbs up. Leave your comments in the section. If you think it's crazy, if you think Bitcoin is bullish, post it in the comments. If you think Bitcoin is bearish and you have some other ideas, some confluent ideas as to why, leave that in the comments. Let me hear from you guys. I want to know your perspective. Post your trades. Let me know how the trades are going. If there's coins you guys want to see, particular coins that you want me to look at and plot out, post those coins. Let's take a look at those coins. And as long as you guys are engaged and enjoying this content, I'm going to keep doing it. If you don't like it, I'm going to shut up and let y'all figure something out. So with all that, peace, love, sincerity, All the blessings. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you on the next one.